The Nelk boys are one of the hottest groups on the internet, and they continue to grow a massive online following. They recently went to Mar-a-Lago and they interviewed former President Donald Trump. And during that interview, they talked about everything from World War III to Putin to what's going on here in the United States today. President Trump said multiple times that he thought that the interview would actually be taken down by YouTube. And now it looks like he ended up being right. One of the tweets that we have is from Kyle Fulgard, who went ahead and said, YouTube has deleted our Trump episode that over 5 million views in 24 hours. The communication from YouTube doesn't give us much more information. It simply says that their team reviewed the content, and unfortunately, they think it violates their misinformation policy. Well, whether you think it does or not, you probably should actually have an opinion. Does it or does it not? This is a pretty big deal to take down an interview with over 5 million views in 24 hours with the former president of the United States talking about things like his relationship with Vladimir Putin, who happens to be invading another country right now, or World War III and the potential use of nuclear weapons, or other things here in the United States like the economy or inflation. And so ultimately what we are watching is censorship and all sorts of decision making that's happening inside these big tech companies. But nobody knows exactly how it's being done. Who's involved? Who holds them accountable? Why is it that we think that some big technology company, they know what's true and what's not? At one point, they were telling us not to wear masks. Then they were telling us to wear masks. And over and over and over again over the last 2 years. At one point, they think something's true. At another point, they don't. If you believe in free speech, the true test of free speech is to protect the speech of the people you disagree with. This whole idea of misinformation is ridiculous. We then see Donald Trump's son go ahead and say that after the deletion, he thinks that they should put the podcast up on Rumble Video, which is another video platform, which is promising that they won't be censoring speech, that they won't try to become the arbiter of truth. And ultimately, that's what's going to happen in the free market, is that if the existing systems continue to censor people, if they continue to kick content off of their platforms, ultimately, somebody's going to build a competitor because the people want access to information. They want to go straight to the source. Why is it that the big technology companies, there's just some employees sitting there saying, I like this, I don't like this, I agree with this, I don't agree with this, I think that's true, I don't think that's true. That's a scary place to live. It's a slippery slope and one we should be aware of. Now, Donald Trump came out with a statement by the 45th president of the United States of America. He said, whatever happened to free speech in our country? Incredibly, but not surprising, the big tech lunatics have taken down my interview with the very popular Nelk boys so that nobody can watch it or in any way listen to it. In 24 hours that it was up, it set every record for them by many times. Interestingly, on the show, I told them that this would happen because big tech and the fake news media fear the truth. They fear criticism about Biden, and above all, they don't want to talk about the rigged 2020 presidential election. All topics discussed. In Russia, the people are not allowed to know that they're fighting a war with Ukraine. That's where our media is going, and that's where our country is going because it quickly follows. Just study history. Are we going to allow this to happen? Our country is going to hell. Now, of course, if you think about this, there's some truth in everything that's being said here, but also it's being said in a bombastic way. And so whether you believe what is being said or whether you completely disagree with it, I don't want to live in a world where large technology companies get to be the arbiter of truth. And if you go back in history, there's literally fake news being printed on pieces of newspaper that sit at the grocery store line. It's called tabloids. And so ultimately, misinformation, fake news, whatever you want to call it, has been around for centuries. Somehow now, though, these large companies are deciding what gets to be said and what doesn't. They're private companies. They have the right to do that. I just think that they're going to run into some trouble when all of a sudden the competition shows up and says, we're not going to play that game. Hey you, did you like this video? Great, we make 5 of them a day and post them here on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, and see you next time.